So, I'm just leaving the medical center, and I have an appointment to come and redo some blood tests that got clotted. And they just refused, even though I was told last week by the doctor to come in and do this today. So now I've had 3 appointments about these blood tests, and yet again they're asking the nurse to tell me that I can't get them. Yeah, it's messy. It's an upward hill. Yeah, fighting for your rights with the NHS. Good stuff.
I have a chronic urinary tract infection. In my case, it's also embedded, which means that bacteria live in the walls of my bladder, and I have reason to believe that they've been there since I was 14, when the pain first started. I am on long-term medication for this, long-term antibiotic medication, which is helping. However, it has caused me issues with my gut, and I've struggled a lot with pain related to that. On the other hand, my mental health it's the part that I feel makes me the most disabled, when it interferes with my daily life. I have high functioning depression. Mostly, it just makes me unmotivated to do anything at all, and I have to convince myself that my life is worth living.
I think film and television studies lacks a disability discourse. The portrayals of physical and mental disabilities on screen are misconstrued. I grew up with glamorized mental illness, unachievable standards, way too much drama for what a life with chronic illness consists of, which, if you ask me, is a lot of lying down and being forced to relax due to debilitating fatigue, pain, or both, I guess. Mental disorders resulting in crazy murders or genius scientists and professors. Teenage suicide, which is portrayed through the male gaze, only exacerbating the issue with disability representation. The shows and films are made not for those with disabilities, but for the able-bodied, the ones that get a glimpse into the supposed life of the abnormal, the other, the freaks. Media is prevailed by the able-bodied gaze, and the purpose of these films is to teach the audience something, to be more grateful for their able-bodied life because they can end up crippled overnight, to create an understanding and connection between the mental illness and madness or genius. If there is one, is it caused by the other? Are they always connected? To inspire empathy and feel connected to these lesser lives of people. To take steps in being the able-bodied savior that all disabled people need. Of course. The lack of disability-related discourse in film and television study does not only affect those like me who struggle with invisible illnesses in a media pool of bad representations, but it also affects the critical conversation. If we never question these portrayals and demand a better forms of entertainment, what kind of society are we promoting? I think it's one in which disabilities are a form of othering from the able-bodied norm ingrained in our minds. The worst part is that the invisible disabilities become even more hidden, and if you're like me, sometimes you start feeling like you might just be making it up in your head.
Is it unreasonable to consider that it might just be all up there?
But I am high functioning, which means that on the outside, I look normal to everyone else. It just makes me wonder, what are we assuming about other people whose disabilities might also be invisible?